Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ada. So in this episode, I'm talking about self-care again. Today's self-care tip is about, you guys know how we overuse some of our muscles. Today's self-care tips is about how we can control the overuse of some of our muscles. I know that the use of cell phones, it's very popular. It's very prevalent. People tend to overuse cell phones these days, right? So there are a couple of things I want to talk about. I want to talk about the overuse of cell phones and how it affects your neck because of the position of your neck when you're using your cell phone. I want to talk about that. I'm also going to talk about the overuse of computers and how that affects your shoulders. All right? Because yeah, it does. And I have personal experience. So I think that makes me sort of an expert at it. So before I get started, if you've already subscribed to me, thanks for subscribing. If you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe so that you can see all of these tips that I am giving you, okay? All right, so without further ado, let's talk about self-care tips. So I want to first start with the use of cell phones. We use cell phones a lot, and without knowing it, sometimes we are looking down like this. This is the most popular look when you're using the phone because it's in your hand and your neck is just like this as you're scrolling. So just imagine if you hold this position for a very long time, which we are all guilty of, your neck is being strained. And after a while, it's going to become stiff. You know how they say something is a pain in the neck? A pain in the neck is not a good thing. It hurts and it's very uncomfortable. It's something that you don't want, right? So to avoid a pain in the neck, you need to be more conscious of that position. I know for me, because I'm aware of this, a lot of times when I'm going like this, I catch myself and then I'm like, okay, I need to exercise my neck, stretch it out, so this is what you can do. You need to stretch it out from time to time. You need to massage it, because when you hold any position for a very long time, that area of your body becomes stiff. Whether it's your shoulder or your neck or whatever it is, even your hand, people get carpal tunnel syndrome, and that is by just holding stiff like that and, typing all day or pressing on a typewriter or computer or whatever a long period. So, the joints become stiff. So overuse of any part of the body becomes a problem. So we have to be aware and conscious of what we're doing so that we don't overuse our body and it becomes a problem for us, So it becomes a medical condition. So that's one. So be aware of that and try to exercise your neck. And if you notice that you have been holding your neck like that for a long time, you need to stop. Massage yourself, massage your neck, exercise it a little bit, and change position or take a break for a moment. Another one is, for me, this one happened to me, y'all. I was in school, all right? I did my master's program, and I was on the computer. It was online. It was an online course. And half of the time we went to campus, but it was a hybrid course, okay? We went to campus sometimes, and most of the time we did all of our assignments on the computer. So master's program, most of it is writing papers, research. So that's what I did. And so I was on the computer like all day. Like before I go to school, after I come back, I was just on the computer because I had so many papers to write, so many things to research. So I was just on the computer all the time. Okay, if I wasn't in class, I'm on the computer. And when I'm using the computer, my hand is like this. Really, that's how it is. So imagine this shoulder is like this, or my hand is held like this all day long. So by the time I was finishing that program, my shoulder was so stiff that I thought I had some kind of medical problem that I was gonna die from. So painful. I thought I had what, bone cancer or what. I just didn't know. I was so terrified because the pain was excruciating. It hurt. Each time I tried to lift my arm or raise it, I just couldn't lift it past a certain point, right? So I had excruciating pain. So I became really worried, and I went to the doctor, and they recommended me to go to this group session thingy. And I went, and it was a whole bunch of other people that had the same problem. So that's where I discovered that it wasn't really a serious medical problem. It was just something that developed as a result of me holding my hand like that for a long period of time. So that was a huge relief, y'all, because I was terrified. I was like, oh my gosh, am I gonna die? What is this? I didn't know what it was. And, so that relieved me. And basically the treatment was that you just needed to exercise it, because what happened is, my shoulder froze. It froze because I was always holding it in that position, for long periods. So after a while, it froze. And to unfreeze it, you have to do some exercises to release that frozen section, right? Because it's frozen, and so now it rubs against, when you're trying to lift it, it rubs against the bone, and that's why it hurts, right? So to relieve it, I had to do a bunch of exercises that they taught me to do, which it took a while, but after a while it went away. Y'all, it went away. That is all I had to do, was those exercises, at least, and put ice on it. Okay, they recommended to put ice on it 3 times a day, each time like 15 minutes. You just put the ice on it, and then, it will start to go away. And it did. After like a month or something of doing that exercise regularly, it started to go away, and now it's completely gone. So now I can see when I'm on the computer and I'm holding my hand stiff like this for a long period, I can start to feel that, okay, now I get it. Like, now I know how that happened, because I can feel the tension here when my hand is held up stiff like this for a long time. I can feel that tension. So that's what happened. It froze because that's not a normal position. It's, it gives it a lot of tension, it gets hot, and then it freezes after a while. They call it rotator cuff tendinitis. So, there's a rotator cuff here that if you hold your hand like this all the time, it becomes inflamed. And then when you move around, it hurts, and because it's rubbing against the bone when you move it. And that's why it hurts, and that's why you can't move it until that unfreezes. Then you can easily move it, right? So I had to do all of those exercises. Let me show you guys an example of what I had to do. Well, basically, you lean against, okay, you'll go to a wall, right? And then you just raise your arm and try to slowly go as high as possible. Just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. Initially when you start, it's gonna hurt, but you just gotta go slowly, little by little. Each time you do it, you try to go a little bit farther up. Each time you do it, you try to go a little further up. Like maybe today you did up to here. The next time you try to do it, a little bit higher. And the next time you try to go higher, and then higher, and then higher, and then higher, and then higher, So, and then, you just different exercises that they taught me to do. You can do something like this as well, just So the bottom line is just to release that tension, that freeze. It's frozen, so you want to unfreeze it. So to unfreeze it, you have to slowly do it by exercising that shoulder, right? So yeah, guys, so keep in mind as you are using the computer, keep in mind that it does affect you. It does affect your shoulder. And, make sure that you don't do it for too long. And when you do, exercise it so that it's not frozen. Okay, you don't want it to freeze, because then it will become very painful, very uncomfortable, and then you'll be wondering, what's wrong with me? Am I dying? You're not dying. It's just that you are, doing something for too long that you shouldn't be doing for that long, and it's causing, muscles to freeze, right? Right. So that's what I have learned, and now I am conscious of those things. When I'm on the computer for long periods, I, think back to what happened to me, with my shoulders, and then I stop and I pause and I'm like, okay, I need to take a break. I need to exercise, these shoulders. I need to exercise my wrist. I need to exercise everything so that I don't, fall into that predicament again, right? So yeah, so that's it, y'all. So be aware of, how using the cell phone for too long can affect you. Holding your head like this puts a lot of tension on your shoulder, on your neck, right? And you don't want a pain in your neck. You do not. Okay, so you gotta take care of that and make sure that you don't stay holding your head stiff like that for a long period, because you're staring at your phone, you're typing, you're texting, you're scrolling, all of that stuff puts a strain on your neck. All right? Okay, guys, so that's it. That's it. Okay, that's my tip for the day. So you are welcome to comment down below and ask me questions. And if you are already subscribed to me, like I said before, thanks for subscribing. If you have not subscribed, hit the subscribe button, subscribe, so you can follow along and see the rest of the tips that I give you. All right? Okay, I will see you in my next episode.